Um, and today I wanted to do a session around thinking outside the box and kind of being not confined by kind of the walls that we have created for ourselves, and being a bit more playful. And so maybe not very yoga, but maybe a little bit of kind of dance therapy and yeah, kind of, rolling movements as we always do. But so I picked the box this morning, and this is the card. And maybe just have a look at it and see what comes up for you, if anything comes up. Any kind of ideas about yourself. And I'll read to you at the end what it represents. So come and lie down. And take a few breaths and just arrive. Close your eyes, let everything soften. And allow your body to be a vessel that carries you on a little journey. And this little vessel has little anchoring points that stay connected with the floor or to the earth. And so for a moment, really imagine yourself anchoring back down to earth. And take a little time to kind of begin that process of feeling anchored. And just a few really soft inhales and exhales. And perhaps breathe out through your mouth, but not the usual loud. Try and make it quite soft. Continue to let your breath flow. And then begin to create kind of the most subtlest little movements through fingertips and tips of your toes. And just kind of see if you can connect to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes and almost illuminate them from within. And maybe begin to extend that movement further really into the toes and balls of your feet and into the fingers and your knuckles. Maybe begin to extend that movement into the ankles and into the wrists. And maybe begin to draw little circles. And maybe begin to allow your shoulders and your knees to come into play as well. And maybe keeping the movement slightly kind of forward and backward rolling over the heels and over the back of your head. You might want to reach your arms up to the sky and just have a little feel and a little play there. And then begin to imagine the walls that you have created for yourself and just begin to explore them. So mentally kind of make a picture of what walls are there, why they're there, and see if you can kind of feel into them. Maybe see if you can figure out what texture they are, how far they go. Is it a big spacious space or is it quite small and confined at this point? And just really use your imagination to get a sense of your box. And then maybe begin to reach your arms up and over. Have a little stretch here, breathing into your armpits. And also breathing into the folds where your leg meets your pelvis. Then you want to slowly slide your right foot in so that your right knee is pointing up towards the sky, and then slide your left foot in so that your left knee is pointing up towards the sky, and let your arms slide out to the sides. And then again, continue the rolling over your sacrum, over the base of your spine, and just creating a little rocking movement through the pelvis, and maybe also chest and shoulders. Little forward, backward rolling. Then finding a neutral spine, turn your feet out. So kind of lift your toes and balls of your feet off the floor, and then turn your feet out so that your feet are kind of like a ballet dancer, and then move them towards the edges of your mat. And just stay here for a moment, and maybe also play around with rolling through your spine forwards and backwards, and see what that does in your hips, pelvis. See what sensations you can feel there. And you want to begin to slide your right arm up by the side of your ears, and you want to let your knees roll towards your left. And then let your head roll towards the right, and just have a little breath there. And again, breathe into your lower belly. Then let your knees float back towards the center, and let your right arm float back out to the side, or slide back out to the side. And then left arm goes up by the side of your ear, and your knees roll towards your right, and your head turns towards your left. And then again, breathe into your lower belly, your pelvis. Really stick your belly out. And then this time your arms are gonna, or your left and right arm is gonna slide up by the side of your ears. Your knees are gonna go back to the left. Your head rolls to the right. And you want to slightly pull your right shoulder down a little bit. Then you're going to let your knees float back up towards the sky and let your right arm, shoulder extend out slightly again. And then the knees roll towards your right, your head to the left, and pull your left shoulder down a little bit. And knees back to the center. You're going to do it one more time. Your knees go to the left, your head to the right. Only this time you're going to roll onto and come up to sit. So your feet kind of stay in that position with your knees still kind of folded to the left side, and you're sitting up, and you want to just have a little explore here, maybe stretching out one arm or maybe rounding your spine. You can also hold onto your knees or shin and just create some little movements to create a little bit of space and just see, where am I tight? What can I feel? Maybe even why can I feel it? Why am I so tight there? What have I done or not done enough of to make it tight? Play around with your arms, maybe little circles. And again, kind of begin to come to the idea of the box and how can I move out of, how can I create more space for myself? Then you might want to place both your hands to the outside of your left thigh and begin to spiral around, looking over your left shoulder. And then have a little play with both hands on the floor, maybe fingertips on the floor, and play around with your head and just let it kind of do a little semicircle, looking over the left shoulder, and then tuck your chin in and then look over the right. And do that for a few rounds. And maybe also let that movement kind of roll through the lower part of your tailbone. Then you want to let your knees lift up towards the sky. So you're kind of walking your hands back behind you, knees roll up, and then you're going to let your knees roll to the right. So you've got the other side. And then same thing, you can have your hands maybe on your knees or one hand on your shin, and just have a little explore here and just see, where am I tight? Why am I tight there? What movements have I done in order for it to be so tight? Or maybe have I not done enough of something? Either or, right? And everything in between. And so just creating a little bit of a map of where you're at. Playing around with your arms as well, maybe. Playing around with curling through your spine and letting your head roll. And then, as before, you're going to place your hands to the right side of your thigh or fingertips. And then begin to play around with the head. Let your chin kind of roll into your chest and then roll to the other side. And just doing a few of these, and then maybe also kind of getting a little bit of movement through your lower pelvis, your tailbone, maybe slightly undulating movements, if that feels good. And then you want to come and roll back down. So you're going to go down onto the right side of your body. So you're lying on the right side, and you curl yourself in like a little ball on the right side, and then begin to play around with really extending through left arm and left leg. So you're lying on your side. You can decide, you can keep your right arm out, or you can also place it underneath your head if you need a bit of head support. And then begin to play around with bringing knee and elbow, left knee and elbow in, and then extending it out. And you just want to do that for a few rounds. Curling into a little ball, and then really reaching out and expanding through your box, through the walls that we have created, or the walls by which we're confined because of the way that we've been raised. And just have a little play here and see, what walls have I built? Where am I keeping myself small? Where am I not shining light? And then once you're really curled in with your left knee and left elbow really in, then you want to slowly see if you can roll onto your back. And you can stay curled up into a little ball. Maybe lacing your fingers behind your head and really bringing your forehead towards your knees. And so you're really a little ball. And then from there, you're going to lift your arms and legs up into the sky quite effortlessly, floating and maybe moving, wading through beautiful seawater. Imagine little fishies swimming around and how curious they are to see what this thing is that has come in their path. And maybe you want to imagine yourself being different colors, or maybe just light, and just let it be quite a freeing movement. Maybe also really let the movement come from the hips and from the shoulders. So see how that feels to really move from the hips and the shoulders. And then you're going to become your little ball again. And you're going to slowly roll onto your left side and stay curled up on the left. And then begin to explore right leg, right arm, reaching outwards, really extending, and then curling in and becoming a little ball, and just explore that movement there. Either left arm is tucked in underneath your head if you need support, or extended outwards. And so again, begin to imagine, what walls have I built for myself, or what have I been told from a young age? And see if you can break through that, through movement, and also bringing mind into play with that. Reaching beyond and out. And then really staying curled in, little ball.
all elbows, knees in, try and be as small as you can, and then try and slowly roll onto your back. Maybe you need to adjust yourself on your mat a little bit. Tiny little ball, maybe lace your fingers behind your head, curl up, curl up, curl up, curl up, stay tight, stay small, teeny tiny. And then really release, let your arms and legs float up into the sky, and then same thing. Wading through this beautiful clear sea water. And little fishies swimming all around you and being curious as to what it is that you are. And so there are no confinements here. You're completely free. And there is curiosity as to who am I? See if you can really let the movement come from deep within. So the hips and the shoulders also. Maybe even sternum and kind of tailbone. And then begin to really explore movement as well. Maybe get really into the sides of your body, or like little diagonals, or you might have like little small circular movements. See what feels good for you, and you can explore little stretches, but trying to still keep everything quite soft and smooth and flowing. And just see what feels nice, rather than how it should look. This is a wall that I built for myself, maybe still quite active one. The need to perform in order to receive love. So finding and figuring out and being playful with your own freeing non-box. Then you want to confine yourself again and be quite small and tighten everything out and just hug yourself into a little ball. And as you're hugging, consider how you're holding yourself. So take a moment to feel, am I being kind here, or am I really squeezing? So see if you can use kindness as you're holding, and kind of really holding yourself as you would the little girl in you. And maybe begin to create little rocking movements from side to side to kind of soothe yourself. And to really invite love back into your body, into your cells. Then you want to let your feet drop down to the ground with your arms by your sides. Just explore lifting the pelvis up and off the floor. And we've done this before, maybe kind of almost hammock-like. So your feet are your anchors and your shoulders are your anchors, and everything else can kind of flow a little bit, maybe from side to side, and they can be little movements, they can be bigger movements. Just a freeing feeling for the base of our spine, where we hold so much, or we've been taught to hold so much. So just see if you can create a little bit of subtle awareness in this lower part of the spine, And then you want to release pelvis back down onto the ground. And for a moment, just extend your legs and just lie flat. And just let whatever came up, absorb within you, and kind of mentally write it down. And maybe that can be something to journal with later today. You have some time. And as you're lying here and breathing, really see if you can breathe and create space. See how often the breath can be restricted, how we restrict our breath, and see if you can just feel the restrictions if they're there, or breathe into the space that you can create through breathing. Then you want to begin to walk your feet in and again hug your knees in, but this time grab behind your knees. And we're going to rock forwards and backwards. And eventually making our way up. But you can stay rocking for a while. And then again, come and lie down on your back. Let your legs widen. Let your arms slightly slide away from your body. Let your palms roll open. Let your legs roll open. Try and keep your head aligned. Again, see if you can be quite soft in your breath and allow that softness to really open you up from within without forcing. Allowing the muscles just below the rib cage, where they're attached to your ribs, and the muscles in your pelvis that are connecting to the base of your pelvis. And just see if you can imagine them to soften and allow the breath to create space in those areas. And so it doesn't have to be a huge breath, it can be quite a small, subtle breath, maybe a slightly deeper breath. Then you want to slide your left leg kind of down so that it's really in line with your hip, and then let your right knee slowly float up and hug your right knee into your chest. And you want to stay there for a few breaths. Want to hold your right knee with your left hand and let your right arm fold out to the side, and you want to let your right knee curl across your body towards the left and stay there for a little bit. You want to slowly let your right leg extend down along the floor, slowly roll your body back down, and then do the same with your left. So hugging your left knee in. Holding your left knee with your right hand, let your left arm fold out to the left. And let your left knee fold over towards your right, however far, it doesn't have to be deep. Just until you get a nice little release there. Breathing from the left tips of your toes to the fingertips. And then supporting your left knee here, you're going to let your left arm roll behind your head, and you're going to roll onto your right side and use your left hand to push you up to sit. And then coming up to sit. When you're ready, I'll slide myself a little bit further forward. You can also sit on the sofa. Maybe on a cushion or a bolster. You don't have to sit with your legs crossed. Make it work for you. And once you're there, just kind of rocking into your pelvis a little bit and explore how it is to sit up. You might want to make little circles. Or little curls or little ripples. Play around with your head as well. And feel how everything is connected from one part to the other. And when you're ready to be still, and it doesn't have to be yet, finding your way into stillness, into being quiet, allowing the body to stop moving through doing, but the movement coming from that autonomous nervous system. The breath will keep flowing, will keep having that movement. The heart pumping, blood around. And maybe in the undoing, the you not doing, allowing again every cell in your body to light up. And maybe even create a sense of being really free, even if it feels confined in places. Remembering that the confinement is there to keep us safe, or it kept us safe all these years.
because we've been here a while. But allow there to be a spaciousness at the same time and a sense of freedom in who you are, so not being confined by what other people told us. But having a sense of freedom from within, in the allowing. And when you're ready, I will read to you the box. We all live to some degree within the confinements of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected it to hold us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply to stay small. There's a box around you now made of some type of confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will represent itself to you. Keep going, keep breaking through. An exquisite life requires it. Stay with that for a little bit longer. Feeling into and breaking through beyond, through really allowing yourself to be. And place your hands together in front of your heart. And bow your head to your heart. And slowly begin to open your eyes when you feel ready to, kind of getting a sense of your surroundings, the space around your body. the room you're in. Namaste.